Hello, everybody, it's your boy Jmulls of Jmulls Gaming here today with a positive video about Pokemon on my channel. So I've been playing some more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, Scarlet specifically, as you can probably see by my Koraidon, and the laughable performance aside, I'm pleasantly surprised by the content in the game so far. Now I've done a couple of Terra battles, I've done the Bug Gym, and I did the Titan fight that's, ground-based with the giant crab one. I've done that one. I'm shocked. I'm shocked by how much I am enjoying a Pokemon game in the year 2022. And the reason I think I enjoy the game as much as I am is because of the direction shift that they have taken the overall Pokemon formula. Now, we're used to, right? In the mainline Pokemon games, there was always kind of that one form of getting to the end game, doing the gyms, right? But now, with this more open style world, we have three types of content to do as a visual form of progression, where you collect badges and stuff like that. The gyms, Titan class Pokemon, so you can go get some herbs to make sandwiches, and go lay an absolute smackdown on Team Star. I think Team Star is just kind of too goofy for me. I miss the old, more villainous teams, but maybe they'll get better. I think they're kind of stupid right now. I haven't actually done any of the Team Star content in the game yet, but we'll get to that. Now, the game does have a pretty lengthy tutorial. It takes you a couple of hours, and it's kind of annoying, I get it. But once you get past that tutorial, the game just opens up and it throws you into the open world, and I appreciate the sense of freedom that you get. They were really hyping up the non-linearity with Pokemon Scarlet and Violet before this generation came out, and I honestly think it may have been pulled off. I need to see the scaling as we go later into the game. That's my biggest question mark in terms of my enjoyment from here on out, is how is that sense of level progression? Does the game just become an absolute cakewalk like all the other Pokemon games, or do you still have that sense of at least some modicum of difficulty here, where I don't just have to spam one button to win the game? But from what I've done right now, I am really, really happy. Pokemon has always been at its best when it lets you do what you want and takes a more hands-off approach, rather than a linear checklist of things for you to experience. It's one of the reasons I didn't actually like Pokemon Sun and Moon all that much, was just because of how linear and how much of a railroad that game felt like. It really hampered me wanting to play the game multiple times, which is what I normally do with Pokemon games. But here, again, outside of that introduction, it's so open. It's like, okay, here's all the objectives you can do in the game. Go at it in whatever order you want. Okay, cool, that's great. That's a really nice direction shift for the series, especially from a series that was going more and more in terms of hand-holding us. It's felt like they decided to just let you go, and I really appreciated that. And they returned raid battles with the Terra raid battles, because they have a new gimmick for this series, for this generation, with Terra Sterilization, I think is how you pronounce it. I'm also pleasantly surprised by this, and the fact that raid battles come back, and the fact that I don't have to wait for my teammates, even the NPC ones, to rotate through their entire turn. They do it while I'm doing it. Great! Again, a good change for the formula. Raid battles was always a cool concept for Pokemon. I'm really glad they didn't just abandon this concept with Sword and Shield. I'm glad it's returning here. And I'm really fascinated by that terrestrialization gimmick that we were just talking about. Being able to essentially change your typing is one of the things I found enjoyable with Mega Evolutions. So seeing that concept return makes me optimistic for the rest of the game. Now, granted, you don't always change your typing. For instance, my starter, Crocodile, right now, his Terraform enhances his fire aspect, his fire typing. But it has its own advantages with itself, because I'm more incentivized to use fire abilities when I have my Terraform up. Okay, it's changing my thought process about how I want to tackle this encounter. I like that. And I know that for the gym, right, the bug-type gym leader busted out a teddy bear, I forgot the name of it. Teddiursa. Busted out a Teddiursa. I'm like, why the hell does the bug-type leader have a Teddiursa? Terraform's a bug-type. I'm like, oh, that's such a cool concept. Oh, you can take Pokemon that have already been established, that we already know about, and twist it on its head, pivot it in such a way, and give it a new type, and all of a sudden that entire encounter is different now. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's risk and reward. I like that. Oh, that's fun. That's engaging. That's varying gameplay. That's a different thought process that I have to do for these fights now. Okay, I like that. It's not just a matter of the Pokemon gets bigger. and does more numbers. It changes the strategy involved, and I like that. I do think on the whole, Pokemon still suffers from a difficulty or lack thereof difficulty problem, and I'll talk about that in a different video. But the content seems to be there. A ton of Pokemon to go and collect, a host of trainers to fight, raid boss Pokemon, exploring the world with Koraidon, makes it feel different and more enjoyable and open-ended. Not just having the game be about gym battles is such a breath of fresh air, but also including Titan encounters and those Team Star objectives I talked about earlier. That's a nice direction change, since it's seemingly building off of Pokemon's strength and fleshing out the formula with other kinds of content. The fact you can buff Koraidon's travel capabilities by doing those Titan Pokemon quests is a good form of progression. I got a sprint button for Koraidon in an open world. You know how useful that is? Do you know how nice it was to be able to get that? And I know that one of the ones I can get later will be to be able to walk on water, which will change a lot of sections in the open world. It's recontextualizing how you encounter the open world as you get these fights. I really like getting those abilities. I might focus on them. But that's a choice that I, as the player, can make. Because you, as the player, could choose to go tackle gym battles, or just go after Team Star, or just heavily grind out the raid battles, or go collect all the Pokemon you can. You can do whatever you want. It is such a breath of fresh air. I am someone who likes to collect a lot of Pokemon nowadays. It's how I like to play Pokemon nowadays, is go and collect as many Pokemon as I can and fill the Pokédex. But for this video, I wanted to be able to actually do a Titan fight, but it was on the other end of the world. I decided, okay, what if I just go straight towards one, flew to the closest waypoint I could, and I just made a beeline towards it. I didn't have to do any other side content. I didn't need to tackle any of the other Pokemon in the way, or the trainers. The game let me choose to do that. And that itself is such a breath of fresh air. And the Titan fight had multiple phases to it. There were 2 phases to this freaking thing. Granted, it was just a giant enemy crab, but okay, I like it. I like it. I'm pleasantly surprised. I don't know if it's a native ability of the Pokemon itself, or if this was a special aspect for the Titan fight. But around 50%, it would gain a bunch of attack buffs and get a bunch of defense debuffs. Okay. That's changing how I'm encountering the fight. It's getting buffs. Okay. And by the way, brief segue back to terrestrialization. I'm so glad they're not incentivizing you to use it on pretty much every freaking battle, like Dynamax was, where you can pretty much spam that thing. Thank God there's like a recharge on it. I know it seemed kind of arbitrary. I'm not sure if this is the exact correct answer, but I feel it's closer to the correct answer than just letting me terrestrialize for every freaking fight. That makes it feel more special and unique. I like that again. And honestly, outside of the performance and graphics of the game, which deserves to be discussed and to be criticized because they're awful, I am really pleasantly surprised by the content and gameplay loop of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I'm really enjoying it so far. I was borderline done with this series, and honestly, the performance and graphics have kept my pessimism where it is. But it's nice to see them try new things and actively work to make the Pokemon formula more enjoyable. It's nice to be able to say that I enjoy Pokemon again. I haven't been able to say that for years. I can finally say that now. And maybe it'll fall off near the end of the game. That's a possibility. But right now, I'm having a good time. And I'd rather treasure that moment right now. And if it gets worse, we'll talk about it when we get there. But right now, I'm going to try and keep this optimistic streak alive. So, I'm going to call the video there for the day. Thank you all for tuning in. My pleasure making the video. If you enjoyed it, please leave a like and subscribe. It really helps the channel out and helps support future content, and I greatly appreciate it. And leave a comment down below with which version of the game are you getting or playing, Scarlet or Violet, and what are you tackling first, gym battles, Titan fights, or Team Star? Let me know. And what are your overall impressions of the game? I want to hear your thoughts and hear your opinions and hear your perspectives. Are you a veteran of Pokemon? Are you new coming to Pokemon? Let me know. I want to hear your thoughts and your opinions. Stay safe with everybody. Have a great day. Go enjoy some Pokemon. Go enjoy some games. Thank you all for tuning in. Stay safe with everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye-bye, everybody.